Good morning. Welcome out there. It's the 30 Day Show. It's day 18. We pacing, we moving. Okay, we on the other side of the other. I said the other. We're on the other side of 15 days. So we're on the last half. And I'm here. I'm Omi Bell. I'm here with my co-host Cameron Calvin. How you feeling?
Ooh, 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 ooh. I
Yeah,
don't
that
know.
was
I
it.
need a good
Okay.
morning. I need a
That was
good
great.
morning. Whoop, whoop. Did you hear the whoop whoop?
I heard it. You need a good morning. What's the thing? What's the deal?
Like, good morning. Welcome to the Omi Day Show. This is
Uh,
Omi Bell Show. Good morning. Or I need a black and
you need me
highly
to go. You know
favored.
what it
I
is?
need a
I'm so zenned out a bit. Like I'm so like, and so I'm like, so I don't know if what people don't know this about me, but I listen to sound bowls all night. Sometimes I have a mix of experience. So like I sleep to sound bowls, and so then when I wake up, sometimes I'll do like yoga nidra in the morning, and then I'm like a little bit more energized, or I'll do some breath work in the morning, and then I'm a little bit more energized. But either way, I listen to sound bowls all night, and then I listen to like DJ sets in the morning. So like depending, like today was an R&B set. Sometimes I'll listen to like hip hop sets. It really depends. I'm all about it. So my YouTube is set for my routine. Like when I go to bed at night and I cut my YouTube on, it goes right to all the sound bowl people. And then when I wake up in the morning, it goes right to all the DJs. Plus the people that go, if you're seeing this on March the 18th, you're gonna be a millionaire. Like those people too. They're there. Love them. I'm gonna be a millionaire, clearly. So so I listen to them. But depending on how the morning goes, I have a little less energy when I get downstairs because I'm a little bit more like zenned out versus like the mornings if I'm doing breath work, that's the mornings when I get down, I'm like, yeah, let's go. And then but if I don't do that and I just do like my R&B set in the morning, I'm just chill. So I feel very like chill. I had time to pray today. So like I feel very like, that's it. But as the show goes on, then I'm getting more and more hype depending on what we're talking about.
that's how I feel too.
Yeah.
I don't know if the audience can tell, but I have late nights
Late nights, early mornings is what I said.
and early mornings.
There you go.
Uh, but no, I would say Zendale. I didn't get to do my prayer routine this morning either. I was running around. I did say thank you God for waking me up, but I didn't get into my prayer. But this shows something about. I think it's the conversation, and I'm glad we have a third parties and guests on because the guests energize even whether
Yeah.
whatever their energy is. Learning something and hearing it from someone usually pours into me and it's like, oh, okay, you wake up and then get your brain activated and so forth. So I like that. I like
Yeah,
that.
that's real. The guests energize me too. Cause by like when I'm discovering like what people have, or, like what they've created, what their businesses are. Also just like
I'm
people that I
like,
haven't talked to in a long time. It was dope to see Paulo. It was dope to see Trinice. There's people who I haven't seen or talked to in a really long time, or they just happen to see the link through my this. What also is interesting about this for me is that I threw this link out there, and I honestly didn't know who was gonna sign up.
you said that
So
before. You didn't push, you just threw it out there in was it in an email, on the text thread, on your Omi
email.
text?
So I have Omi homies come first, by the way. Okay. So if you want the Omi homies list, you always come first. So I text them first, and then my email list, and then BGV's not the broader email list, but just like different pockets of BGV. So we have like a communities chat with all the nationwide fellows, and so I dropped it there. So I didn't do like a massive BGV. BGV's email list is we have a decent email list. It's about 60,000 people. So like I didn't drop it there, right? So
Did
I
you
would
say
say that.
decent or I hope you said massive?
I know, but I know some people that have like 100,000 people on their joint. You know what I'm saying? I like it's. What's interesting about what you're saying is like we talked about this before about how like quality, what is quality, and I think like every time you enter into another realm, you're a ninth grader. I was like every time you enter into another realm, you're a freshman. So I feel like in the realm of like probably the level of influence that we have, we're probably freshmen in that realm. So like we have 200,000 TikTok followers. We have about 64,000 Instagram followers, which has been slow to grow. We have about 30,000 over 30,000 LinkedIn followers. So it's like we've moved it, we're like micro, but still like at the like 200,000 is not small for TikTok, but in a realm of people with 1 million followers is not big. You know what I mean? It's like, and I think that the bar keeps shifting. Do you see that? Like I feel like the bar keeps shifting, especially with brands. At first, having 200,000 followers would have been like, oh shoot, yeah, let me woo woo woo. Now it's like I went to this all-star event. They was giving out free phones. And they was like, oh, do you have 1 million followers? And I'm like, no, but
They said it like that. Hold up, they said that in order.
yes. It was like, do you have
Hold up,
a
to get
million
in, to
followers?
get, was that to get like the swag bag?
It was a free phone, to be fair. It was a free. I ended up still getting the phone. It was a Google
But
Pixel.
did they have that? Did they put the stank on it where you were like, "Do you have 1 million followers?" Or was it like?
No, they weren't. They were not rude. They were not rude. They were nice. The folks at Google Pixel, they were
Because the way
nice.
you just said it was like, "Well, do you have 1 million followers?"
Yeah,
I'd be
no,
like,
they were very nice. And I know their VP. She used to be at Google. I'm sorry, she used to be at Nike, and she's amazing. Adrienne Lofton. If you don't know her, amazing,
Was she
amazing.
the one over at the Jordan brand who gave
No,
away
she
money?
wasn't it. No, not Jordan
I
Brand.
got a
She was
small
at
Jordan
Nike.
sponsorship check one time, and then
Oh yeah,
That guy left like a month later.
I do know the folks at Jordan Brand though. I'm actually working on. I'm so glad you said that because I actually need to reach out to them. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, I know a couple of folks over there. They're good. They're good folks too. The people that I've been able to work with at these corporations have been good people. That's why you'll hear me. I don't know about. I don't always know about defending the larger brand. So like even when people talk about Target, the people that I work with at Target, solid, amazing people fighting the internal good fight. So like that's why again you won't hear me slandering it just because of them. Like whatever, not whatever too, because these people fund us. But I'll say that like at the end of the day, it's hard to defend an entire conglomerate. You know what I mean? Like Nike ain't just like one company. It's not like the shoe. It's like Nike, Converse, Jordan brand. Like, you know what I mean? It's multiple brands. So it's hard to say you can defend that in any way. But I would say that like the people inside these brands that we work with, amazing people. Period. And that's across the board. Like we work with multiple corporations inside of these brands, these folks. These are great people, right? Y'all saw all that money moving during George Floyd's murder. That was the people. And so I
That was
saw
the people that were primed and ready because it's like they wanted to move money. It's like, oh, here's an excuse, and then that was the point where corporations were looking at anybody black or anybody diverse, like, hey, what should we do?
so did you see the speech from the guy? He's the creator of, but I don't know if he's still the head of Black Enterprise. Graves, Mr. Graves.
Oh, Don Grace, recently or this is like old
Recently, I
school?
just saw it the other day. He was basically like calling out to corporations and basically saying like, if you out there, like you got a duty to not, basically succumb to Trump's demands, essentially. It was interesting. All right, we got Maria here. Maria is a part of the morning crew.
I'm genuinely excited to meet Maria.
Shout out to JF Fluent, Mr.
Hold
K
on.
Harris, Mama Love, Chef Jen, Ambitiously Kiera, Ahmed, the real Sparks, the real RL Sparks, the artist view. Reading these folks on Instagram is always funny to me. Shout out to JoJo Ricketts. I like that name. Shout out to all the folks on Instagram who are watching right now. And yeah, I'm gonna bring Maria up. Maria is a part of the morning crew. We're so happy to have her because she's been a loyal listener to the 30-day show, all 18 days. And I am so
I'm
thankful.
salty because now we won't see her comments, or maybe when she's off. But why we won't see her comments? Because those will be the first comments you see. She talking to you in the comments.
Yeah. And then, so shout out to her, the morning crew, Tiffany, Ingram, Luxury Larice on YouTube. Like, shout out to all of y'all for being here every day. Coming to the stage, introducing y'all to Maria LeBlanc. Hello.
Listen, I am so excited. Excuse my wall. My son was moving some stuff around for me. So I say, you would do it. I done asked you 2 weeks, but you would do it on the one morning I got to get up. So it's a white wall behind me. But I got a lot to talk about, and I know I don't have a lot of time. So I got to give you everything I got real quick.
What up, Maria? How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good.
Tried to reach out to you on LinkedIn, could not find you on LinkedIn. You said for me to follow you. I tried, but could not find you. I said, sometimes people miss
did you look
people because they're invisible.
Did you no? So Cameron Calvin to the audience is my middle name.
Oh,
that's my entertainment name. Mm-hmm. I like the alliteration, but it is my real name. So, and that's all my socials. My name is Cameron Calvin Trimble. So there's Trimble, Trimble. And it's, if you go to my LinkedIn or if you go to my Instagram or anything else, I say my full name, Cameron Trimble, but I just like the Cameron Calvin for when I do media. And be careful. You can't go to just Cameron Trimble and you see like a white woman with a buzz cut and glasses. I've met her. There. She is a pastor. She is a pastor. She's a LGBTQ rights advocate. She was from Tennessee that lives in Atlanta, and she took all of Cameron Trimble on Instagram. She took Cameron Trimble on Facebook, on Twitter. She got CameronTrimble.com. She got all the stuff before I did. Like, she's maybe a year or two older and got everything before I did. So that's why I pivoted very early to like, it was Cam Trimble at first. And then I was like, I don't like Cam. So I went to Cameron Calvin. Somebody was there for a second too. So I was like, I'm Mr. Cameron Calvin. That is the evolution of my social handle. So if you see Cameron Trimble, you will find me. I'm looking just like this in my shot. Like, yeah.
I'm gonna go and find you. So I want to address a few things that y'all done said that been sticking at me, right? So the first thing I want to address, because I'm an AI fan and for enthusiast, let me say that, right? So one thing about you, Cameron, I actually created an app for you as well, but it's not as dope as the one that I'm working on currently.
All right.
You could just say it's not as dope as mine. That's it.
That's totally fine.
To say
I'm coming up in. You own me first. I'm cool. I'm cool with that. I'm cool. We all can get championship rings. She could be the leader.
Listen, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a championship ring. You got to know it. All right. The young lady that works with you really helped me out. I mean, she got on talking about how you can get on and get Claude to do the search. Right.
Oh yeah.
And that's how I was able to, when you was like, my tagline, this is my tagline. I was like, yeah, I know, because Claude gave me the search. So it was real cool.
Oh really?
Yeah.
It was in the search.
Yeah, that's how
I love that actually.
That's how they pulled all of the information that was on there. I didn't do anything. It pulled it all down. And then we were able to assemble it. Also, I want to address this one thing. You all say that AI does hallucinate. And so I really wanted to address that because something that Ami said the other day when she was talking about truth and power and people distorting facts. So what they do is they teach us AI hallucinates, because hallucinating then puts it on the engine and not on the creators of the engine. Right. So it'll tell you something hallucinated, but really, if you really get into the mechanics of AI, whenever it makes a mistake or does something it shouldn't do, if you ask it, it'll say, okay, let me fix it. But then if you stop it and you say, no, explain to me why you did this, it always comes back to two reasons. And the main reason is it's training data. It's training weights, my training data. So what they have fed it is what it gives out. So when I tell you garbage in, garbage out, in that regard, the lady was talking about her resume. She said, but I know I never gave it that. No, absolutely you didn't. But what they have trained it to do, everyone that puts their resume in, and the people who trained AI teaches them to punch up a resume. They punch up their resume, give it extra, give it more. And so AI gives you garbage in, garbage out. Now, the way to not get that is to make sure you put the proper constraints on AI. If you start anything you do with what you do not want, AI responds better to you. So if you will say, I do not want you to embellish my resume, but this is what I need. I need a professional resume, and I do not want you to embellish it. I do not want you to add to it. I want you to enhance what I have. AI responds to that because it knows what to do. It just does not know what not to do. Does that make sense?
So yes, and so what you said makes sense, but I don't know that I don't know if the embellishing is what I'm meaning about what the hallucination scenarios are. So first and foremost, it's tech, so it can't grab from something that's not there. So let's clearing that up in the sense of like, yeah, of course, it's not grabbing from thin air. It's not like if it's not there somewhere, like through all the training models, and either who built it or now that it's training through people using it, right? So it's also training through people using it, whether you check that box or not. Some people did, some people didn't, around like, can I train based off of what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
I want to think of a good way to put it. So ultimately, like it is, there is the algorithm that exists. Then that is everybody using it and how it's consistently being trained. So mathematical equation, dump into it from the creators, from random people, from whoever's training it. There's things that come up. The idea of hallucination, if we want to get real, I guess, technical about it, that no, a machine can't technically hallucinate because that is a human function, essentially, right? Like the idea of hallucination is a product of your brain and how it can work to see things that don't exist, kind of thing, like, and how things can be altered in that way. But ultimately, hallucination as a loose word, I would say, or term for like things that not necessarily just embellishment, but like literal information that doesn't pertain to where you're asking for, or you asked for 1 + 1, it gave you 5, or because somebody somewhere, like, I don't think, well, I would say for the audience, because maybe the audience may not understand how tech works in that way, but like, of course, all tech is pulling from somewhere. So there's that, yes. So that's not, that's just how it works. But the fact that it can still give you wrong information, and I think that like the idea that like you can think of every scenario to say not to do, I don't think that over time that doesn't necessarily work massively. So like, while you as an individual can think, even like, but we talk about AI right now. It's not necessarily a new concept. You can do this with your Google search too. You can literally put, John, not Jacob or something. You know what I mean? You can like all this.
And it'll pull Jacob. Absolutely.
So like you could do, you could do John, not Jingle Hager Smith. And it'll pull every John except for that. Like that is just how the logic works. But I think that like the humans against like, can you think of everything to tell it not to do, is where we're like, they're like, and listen, I'm in no defense of the industry. All right, like I want to be clear that I'm only talking about we're talking about engineering right now. We're not talking about
right.
So it is giving people a layman's term to refer to when you get information that you did not desire. Okay. That is pretty much it.
And you're absolutely right in that regard. You that like hit the nail on the head. I guess my biggest thing is when because I like to code. Well, let me take that back. I don't like to code. I like to I like to make
let's back up because I run do, what your company is, where people can find you, all that kind of
Okay,
stuff.
I'm sorry.
No,
So
no, no, you're
you
good,
can
you're
go.
good, you're
She
good. I
came in with
appreciate.
the energy.
Yeah,
I
she's
thank
like, I gotta
you.
let them know, but I appreciate it. I
Well,
appreciate
not
it.
just that, but like it's like a lot of things that I want to get out. I want to be able to say. I don't know how much time I have, and then when we come back on the 21st, my business partner it's going to be real technical because she's going to be talking about a lot of what we are doing to move an engine forward, and so that'll be really cool. But so you can go to envisionvirtualedge.org. Currently, my website is messing up because, of course, when I would do something, I would wait till this morning to correct something that I saw needed to be corrected 3 days ago. And so now AI is correcting my website as we talk. And so it put something off center. And anyway, nevertheless, so I would do it.
Maria, where are you from? Let me start there. Where you from?
I'm from the H, Houston, Texas, baby. Ain't nothing like us.
What ward? What ward?
Oh no, I don't live in the ward. I live in North Shore, the home of the football winning every championship it is. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like
North Shore. So if you know where Baytown is or Channelview, we are but we go to the state championship every year and we win almost every year. Duncanville is the only team that kind of beats us, and that's up near Dallas. So that's
what level of league you talking about? High school?
We're 5A.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We're 5A. We may be up to 6A now because we grow rapidly. They actually seek us out to come to North Shore. North Shore has a heavy recruiting team. We have our guys that go to the NFL. It's really big. They say football is life.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, you saw me. My son, he goes there, but he's in agriculture. He has horses. He wants to own a ranch and farm and have cattle and all of that. That's so that's his thing, and that's the other thing we're really popular for is agriculture here in North Shore. So
okay.
Yeah. So that's who I am. Envisionvirtualedge.org is our website. I started doing this 11 months ago. I was part of the people that became the Black women that became unemployed. And so I said, Chat, help me build an app. And so Chat said, okay, well, I said, can we do it? He was like, yeah, well, it lied to me. Couldn't really do it. Or not designed to do it at the time. It was really designed to give you real prototype, real dummy. If you look on my website in Envision Learning, you'll see the very first iteration of the app that we put out, of the first app I created that we put out. And it was like a Word document. I was like, we didn't have to do that. I could have went to Word and made this. But I didn't know that it wasn't supposed to work. So every time it would do what I didn't want, I said, how do I get you to stop doing this and give me this? And it would literally tell me what to do to get it to stop giving me prototype and to start giving me production grade code. And so I have since built an EMR system, electronic medical records. And so that's what that's the big thing that I've done. And so when you can do that, making other apps becomes really, 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 really simple. Because that's like 250,000 lines of code that I have in there. And actually, interesting.
Did you used to do this beforehand?
No, nothing. I didn't even know what a terminal was 11 months ago. I didn't know.
So what was your career before this?
Before this, I was working for a nonprofit doing health for seniors. And so, and I was a community engagement director. So that's one of the things that's what I wanted to build. I wanted to build. And when we got released, I was like, okay, we're going to start a nonprofit. And I wanted to build an app to help seniors check in, because in Houston, when it gets really hot or when the hurricanes come and everything, we have these seniors who are without people to check on them. And so sometimes they find seniors have already transitioned by the time they get a wellness check. And so I wanted something to help seniors be able to check in. Well, then I said, this needs to be HIPAA compliant. So then I said, well, might as well make it SOC 2, right? SOC 2, who, what, when, why, where. And then I started saying, well, can I build a back end, make it a FHIR, make it do all of this stuff. And then I tell people that God never tells you what you're going to do when you get in it, because you may be afraid to keep pushing through. But by the time you get to where he's landed you, it's an amazing place. And so that's what we have built ultimately, is that, well, then I started learning how to do. So let me back up and say this, and I'm not going to say I'm the only, but I will say that I am one of the only people who have been able to build a secure healthcare platform with AI being the coder. So they are extremely, I've sit in rooms with people from Harvard, from Rice. They have no idea how AI works, how it functions. And they are, I sit there and I listen to some stuff and I'll be ready to pluck my eyes out and my ears. I'll be like, what are they, who is teaching them this?
Maria, that's pretty amazing, because I think that you're describing what I think maybe this is the corner of the internet or the corner of social media I'm on, but that you can do this with AI, you can do this with AI, you can shift your career, you can learn in real time. And I think, one, is commendable, B, it's dope, C, run the bag up the best way you can, because they're telling you this is what AI can do. It can help you shift careers, it can help you pick up something new, it can help you vibe code. But I'm dubious to think all the people who they say it can help, but versus the people who actually implement
it will
and
help.
it will help and put finger to keys.
To your point, I don't. That's why I tell people I don't vibe code. I do AI assisted coding, which is why I say
that sounds better too. Vibe coding sound like we chilling.
Right.
Because people are, and the back end looks terrible.
Right. I'm an AI systems director, so I have learned how to direct AI systems to give me clean code. If you look at, I told you over 250,000 lines of code almost. And I have no errors. I have no lint errors. I have no TypeScript errors. I have no my CI/CD pipeline all passes. Everything is real clean. And I've learned through this process that's how a lot of why a lot of things get hacked, because a lot of people are built very bloated, and there's a lot of tech debt. And so they don't know what they've connected to what and who else they've hired on to connect to something. And so they have to do all of these built-ons. And so one of the things that I believe is going to be our claim to fame is that we have a very light engine, because it's not riddled with debt, tech debt.
Why .org? Is this a nonprofit?
Well, it ended up being .org because our WellFit community.org is my is my nonprofit. And so Envision became .org just because it was .org, not because it's a nonprofit. My actual engine is on .live. So it's WellFit community.live is the actual engine that we built. It's live on the internet.
Okay, got it. Well, I would consider that. I don't know what clients you're seeking, like who your audience is, but I feel like when people see .org, whether it is true or not, it signals like, oh, this is a nonprofit, and so then they look at it in a different way. So I would consider like, tell me, who's your target audience?
My target audience is rural American hospitals, is for my EMR system, rural American hospitals, because the government just dropped $50 billion for rural American hospitals to come up and to infuse some AI into their systems. And so that is my target audience. and community hospitals that do not have the money to utilize Epic. There are a lot of hospitals. Epic and Cerner cost a whole lot of money to infuse, and they don't have the level of technology that we have. That's not my competition, because listen, the big boys on a big scale. It costs $1 million to integrate Epic to their system, and I'm not diminishing my ability or my reach, but I don't even want to fight them when there's so many rural American hospitals that need the assistance.
You don't gotta fight them.
Yeah,
They
that's
might
what I'm
buy you
saying.
out. But I would say, like, you don't even have to reference that, in conversation.
You're right.
It might come up, and you just be ready to your communication for that is, won't be, we're not against them, because in competition, it's not against or for the other person. It is, we are focusing on what makes sense for those who can afford. Everybody has different levels of affordability. So, like, in your narrative there, you just want to go with, like, our clients carve out at this level, their clients carve out at this level.
Okay.
And, we feel like we can serve in tandem. We feel like we all can exist. Here's what we're focused on. Like, our focus is here. This is what we do best. It's the people who can't afford or operating at certain levels. And as you refine that, there may be things like, they may also serve hospitals at a certain level, meaning, like, I'm making this up because I don't know the real ways that hospitals are characterized, but it's like within a certain city with a certain amount of beds, a certain amount of square footage, a certain amount of people served every day is likely how they characterize it. So as you think about, like, how you characterize what you do, you work for or work with hospitals at what level? Hospitals that characterize at this level for this level of consumer patients that they work with, and maybe even specialty doctors. Like, you know what I mean? You'll just characterize it, because I mean, like,
you see why I need you. See why I need you to take me on and be my mentor. See what I'm saying? See, listen, you just proved my point. Your value add just was quick. See what I'm talking about? That's what I'm telling you.
She does that. She come
why
in
you
and
think
do
I
that.
made you the app? I'm like, listen, I'm trying to court
That's
Ani.
funny.
I'm trying to get her to do it. No.
Oh,
Yeah,
what about
yeah.
me?
I mean, I'm here. This is where I'm here. I got you. I think I might. So the mentoring piece is kind of hard for me because, I don't know. I think the way, what I realized. So I had a client the other day, and
What'd you realize on me?
I realized that the way I take on people, I had to manage my capacity. Because when I'm in, if I'm in it with you, I'm in it with you. You know what I'm saying? You're on my mind. I'm thinking of what you got. I'm thinking about, I might be in a whole nother room, and I'm like, you know what? This person need to, like, literally,
Listen, I'm trying to be top of mind. I'm trying to be top of mind.
Top
See,
of mind is it. Top of mind is it.
I've been paying
If
attention.
if you need to know where you need to be top of mind. That is 1,000% for everybody out there. Be top of mind. Be top of timeline. That helps you get top of mind. Be top of email inbox. That helps you get top of mind. Be great people. Y'all are great people. You're a great person. Like that. Like be great people. That makes you top of mind. Be interesting. Have something interesting you're working on. Communicate that to people. That keeps you top of mind. Like, being top of mind is probably one of the most powerful things you can be for, like, out there, to be honest.
That's so true, because I think I'm so glad I practice being top of mind. That's why I get drinks with people. That's why I send consistent emails. That's why I keep putting stuff out on social every day. I even think about this show. Like, even if they're not supporting the thing you're doing, even if they don't open every email, people recognize the emails they keep getting.
Mm-hmm.
People recognize, I'm scrolling through. I'm not stopping, but Cameron put something else again, or your brand, Black Girl Ventures, put something out again. Oh, it's in my stories. Even if I don't click on it, you getting them consistent emails, knowing, like, I open one in every 5. But I know that being top of mind, people recognize consistency.
People recognize consistency.
That's why
That's
I'm on
it.
the 30-day. So listen, this was
Oh,
so
you did it because we definitely was
No.
like, who is Maria? Because we love her because she here every day. What's up, Maria? Where you
So
at?
it was really an accident. You know how you said the universe brought you? I said that because it.
Were you already following Omi or something?
I didn't start following her until after it showed up on LinkedIn. So I didn't even know LinkedIn could go live. Let's start there. And I don't watch podcasts. I hate podcasts. Really, I do. Because it's always these people that have all of these wonderful ideas and think they are the
it's a little annoying sometimes.
Yeah, they are the what's that, the authority on every subject. They the authority on every subject. So I don't really watch them. And you popped up and I said, I didn't even know you can go live on LinkedIn. Let me see. And I said, if you remember when I shared it, I say it's the show you didn't even know you needed, right?
Ooh, I like that.
Because I had no idea. I don't watch it. I was like, it's a black. I said it's a black woman on. Let me watch it. So I turned it on while I was doing some other stuff, getting it together, and I got dialed in. I was like, oh wait, this is a good show. And so that's how I just became real consistent about it and being on it, because it's really a good show. I'll tell people about it because I think that y'all dynamics and the way you all flow off each other and the information you give, I think it's really a very positive interaction. And to watch a black woman, black man on the screen flowing and working and functioning together, and even with differences of opinion, not getting like it's me against you, but getting like, hey, I get your point, but this is my perspective as well, and everybody can respect it in the same space. And so I was like, that's what's up. So that's how I got dialed in every day. I'm like, I'm on. I'm not missing. I'm on because of that dynamic and the way you all flow. And so I just thought it was a really good show. That's how I ended up here.
Thank you so much.
Omi, you remember how we started today? We were like, I think we were saying this off camera or on camera, like waking up these mornings. It's like, you know what really energizes me? The guests.
The people.
The people.
And I think like that's one of the things that we have in common. Even when we were hosting on Tuesday mornings, like when we start getting those callers and stuff, like that really is like, and this is the thing that makes
it changed the show. It changes the show.
And this is why I had to I love the like just having guests, because I'm such a let's feed off the people. Like I used to host poetry events, and I used to be on stage multiple nights a week, and so like having a live audience is it for me. Like sitting and just talking and not just talking to air. I just can't. You know what I mean? Don't do it. And then I think like, Cameron being here with me, the good thing, to your point, you called out a dynamic perfectly. Like we definitely don't agree on a lot of things, but we agree.
I don't like how you put that stank on it. We definitely don't agree.
But it's that, brother sister vibe almost. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, I don't know what he's talking about, but so I think like, but that's you never want to host a co-host that y'all just agree,
right?
That's
on
super
everything.
Agreeable, because it doesn't offer anything else.
It's boring. It's boring.
Yeah, it doesn't offer anything else.
Like he's very he gives very alpha male-ish type of vibes that he gives that the
I am 6'2".
Do you? Oh God! Do you think
and Ami definitely gives alpha female type vibes, and so it'd be like
I own it. Period.
She'd be like,
Queen,
yeah, that's you
all day. What's up?
She'd be like, that's you, but yeah, this is me. This is how I feel about it.
Well, thank you. We really appreciate you, and we want to, we want to also make sure we support you and we give back the platform where we can. Maria, I didn't have anybody scheduled for today because something happened with my calendar, and so Maria reached out to me. She's like, "Can I come more than one day?" I was like, "Yeah," because I actually don't have anybody on the 18th. And I didn't notice it until like a little later because a bunch of people asked me, and I forgot to like. By the time the show got rolling and all the automation happened, I didn't do anything else. So then people have been reaching out to me saying like, "Hey, can we get on the show?" And I'm like, "I don't think I have any slots." And then I looked at the calendar and realized that something happened with the way my calendar blocked out today. So I had nobody. So I was
Listen,
like, "Yeah, come."
it was God. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes you have to accept when God does a thing in your favor and on your behalf. I tell people all the time, He always looking out for me. One thing I do want to say before I'm gone, I really want to push Envision Learning. That
Okay.
is, if you go to my website, that is me. I'm getting ready to. I have a couple of people, and I am getting ready to kind of put it out there to teach people how to code successfully using AI. People do this; they do vibe coding, but that's why they get spaghetti code, trash code, all of that. I definitely want to teach them how to do AI assisted coding. One of the things that and through this, I have developed an item that we had to get patented because nobody anywhere is doing this particular thing to ensure that you don't get the hallucinations from AI. And there is a methodology that you can build in that will prevent that. And so I have had to put it in Bitcoin and make sure they give me a fingerprint for it to make sure that if anybody gets a hold to it, that I have that it's understood that I had the first iteration of it, because it has caused me to be able to be extremely successful in coding without a problem. Like when my code is autonomous, I can you can ask me to code something and I put it in and it'll do it. Like for instance, I mean, what I did for you, it was so funny. You was like, it took me like 2 hours. The
And it's
revision,
dope. We're gonna roll it out before the 30-day show ends for
yeah,
sure.
because
Yeah,
I
we
want to get
got,
the
yeah.
things together.
I didn't even know I needed an app. Let me say that. It wasn't on my
Did you find me?
where?
Hmm?
Find you where?
No, I'm saying, did Maria, did you find me on LinkedIn? I just went to LinkedIn. I didn't see you find.
Okay, let me.
But yeah, I didn't even know I needed an app, to be honest. But when she sent it to me, I was like, oh my God, yes, this is it. So I gotta do my part, which I gotta get my recordings together. But the app for breath work and sound baths and for you. So, and I love this because people who are not into it yet, they don't even know yet what's like, they don't know, and I wanted an opportunity for people to try it. Especially because like a lot of times in these like healing communities, I'm around people that don't look like me. You know what I'm saying? Like it is massive in the like the Gaia channel level of folks. Like it is. I don't see a lot of people that look like me, and especially in the breathwork space, it's becoming more and more popular. But there's actually not a lot of people that look like me in the breathwork space. And now, when I say look like me, I just want to characterize what I mean. Their skin color, that's one thing, but just unique in your own way, whatever that means. Like like you just being as authentic, understanding like both worlds of like when you can be crunchy and you can be like an engineer and you can be a businesswoman and you can be like super spiritual, like all those things don't exist. And you can be an executive and you can be into spirituality. You can be into spirituality and you can be activating your masculine feminine energy in different ways at all times. And I think there's not enough space for all of that. That's why I'm building out Body Business and Belonging, because there is like communities for people who want to focus on wellness, communities for people who want to focus on business, communities for people who want to be social. And I'm like, why don't we do all that together? You could be an executive and you can be, into yoga, and there's a community all together for that because everybody in here is executives. Like, I think that do yoga. Like, I think that you don't always find that. And there are these labels and lines on like you can't be all of that. The number of times that people, I remember I spoke at University of Maryland and I was talking about this is for Nesby years ago, and it was an engineering group, And so we did a couple different things. I bought poets that performed, and then I spoke on a panel and talked about like being a poet and being an engineer. And this student walked up to me crying at the end, and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm just so glad to hear your story because I didn't think I can be an artist and an engineer." And I'm like, "Girl, what?" Like, I think
Right.
now we see life meshing together where everybody got to be a creator. You're a creator and right, like, and so I think like for the most part now they're starting to mesh together. Now the idea of even what you're talking about with Clyde, with coding, with AI and coding, now we're seeing multiple worlds mesh together. But what also is happening is even
Right.
in those worlds meshing together, we're running into a bit of an identity crisis at some point. Cause now people like they don't know who
That's
they are.
interesting.
So it's like now we also got to continue this work around
But I think
author. Go ahead. Go ahead, Maria.
I was going to say, I think that is the deficiency in us as human beings. We always want to define a person. They can't just be. If what's wrong with just being? But there's always has to be a definition behind who you are and why you are or what you're choosing to do at this moment. I have a cousin who he really should have been a professional boxer. He was a great amateur boxer and all of that, but his grandfather didn't see the value in him being a boxer. Like, that's a pipe dream. You out here doing this and doing that. He has Golden Globes. He has all of this stuff that he won, but his grandfather was so fixated on him not doing that now he's allowed his dream to go somewhere else because he couldn't be this and that. You know what I mean? So they always are in this need to make us be something else that fits that's more palatable for who they are. In fact, this morning I was talking to Claude, and I was saying, when I was younger, I really underperformed because I was forced to have to do one thing, like focus on this, doing too many things. And so like it just killed me to only do one thing. Now I'm doing about 6 different things and I am performing optimally, I feel like. And so it said, well, is this something that you can maintain? Is this sustainable? I say absolutely, because of AI, it has become sustainable. Because of course I couldn't do as many things as I do at one time. I mean, I built 4 apps in 2 days. Now that's before AI, that probably was unimaginable, right? But now it's sustainable, and it didn't take a whole lot of energy. It just took me really mapping out how I wanted it to go really quickly, feeding it, and moving on. And so I think that always trying to put people in a bubble actually stifles them, and it makes them be less than what God and the universe intended for them to be. So about 2 years ago, I began praying differently. And I said, God, allow my mind and every electron, neuron, proton, every synaptic function that is supposed to occur, every electric current that flows in the brain, allow those things to connect, that I might become the person that you designed me to be. I said, I believe that life has limited my thought pattern. And so I want you to open it up back to where you intended it to be when you formed me in my mother's womb. And so that is my prayer. And ever since I began praying like that, my thoughts begin to shift about what is possible and what is impossible. That
is a very surrendered prayer. You know what I mean? And I think that like I appreciate, thank you for sharing that with us. It is
praying differently. That's
I started praying differently. And that's a surrender. At that point, your world will start to shift. When they say like the universe is conspiring to give you exactly what you want, your world will start to shift. You'll start to land exactly where you are. And when you do, it's almost like, I always look at it like in plumbing, like a pipe clipped together, and then everything just starts flowing. Some things may fall away. Some things will have to shift. Some people may fall away. Some perceptions on people may have to shift. But the flow is everything. It will bring you so much abundance and like in levels that you didn't even like you said, unimaginable at a time when you planted that seed. I
Right.
love
And
that.
and you
Because it's
putting it
all
and put,
God.
and put
Go ahead. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
and putting no, I was gonna say and putting the work behind the prayer because they say faith without
Faith
work
without works
is
is
dead.
dead.
And it's
Absolutely.
and to be putting out that level of code, putting out that level of apps, and like I said, in the support here, you're on. I'm trying to find you, Maria, on LinkedIn. Find me, please, Cameron Trimble.
I did.
Don't do it right
I
this
did.
second when you hang. You found me.
Yeah, I've already sent you the
Yeah, I'm in
Send me
this
the
I'm following
request.
LinkedIn. I
you.
can't.
I'm looking
No,
at
did
you.
you?
You
Don't
have a
follow me. Send me a request so I can see
I
you.
sent you a contact request as well. I'm looking
Okay.
at you. You're leaning forward in your nice dapper bluish gray suit
In my
with the
AI suit, that's an AI suit.
That's
okay.
is it
And
for
so
real?
It is. It is.
That's hilarious.
and
I,
so
I,
Wait, the
I,
pictures of you in that photo standing up are not real.
oh
Don't
no,
you?
no, those are real. No, no, no,
Oh,
no,
I
no,
was
no,
about to
no. Those
say.
are real. Those are. let me make sure. Those are all pre
so
AI. In the picture, in my
I
circle picture
can't
is me.
I can't do
It
this
was me
without
changing.
acknowledging.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Mm, I
Can
cannot
you
do this without
acknowledge me?
acknowledging God. I
Please
have to
do.
acknowledge
Amen.
um my creator, my ruler, my sustainer, my healer, my deliverer, the one who is and always is to come. I cannot I can't do I could not do anything outside of what he has gifted me the ability to do. And so I always have to acknowledge God in everything I do. And I'm gonna
Uh-oh. Well, you're frozen.
an assistant pastor.
Oh,
Being an
there you go.
assistant
Okay, you're
pastor.
back. You are
Okay.
you are an
And because
assistant pastor?
I'm an assistant
Okay, cool,
pastor, and
cool. What's your church?
the name of the church is Harvest Time in Baytown. And being an assistant pastor, you have to make sure that you don't only just do it when you're not on the platform, but on every platform that you enter, you have to make sure that you acknowledge that God is the reason that you have arrived here. That if it had not been for the Lord on my side, truly, where would I be? If it had not been for Him
Uh-oh,
ordering
girl,
my
you about to
steps
say
and
because in
directing me.
church, if it had not been
Yeah.
for the Lord
Yeah. Well, I
that
mean,
was on my
and
side.
people, and people do they'll hoop it out. But for real, when I tell you that when my son was a baby, 24 years ago, I was homeless. So when I tell people that if it had not been, it's not that because it's a cliche for me. If it had not been, but for the so when I see people who are unhoused, see people who are in desperate situations, I think all the time, if it had not been for the grace of God, there go I. But for his grace, but for the reason. And so that's just, I just acknowledge him and I give him honor and glory. And I want you to know this too. I believe that the universe, he's the God of the whole universe. Like sometimes people like to take our Africanness outside of Christianity or whatever. And I don't necessarily subscribe to a religion per se, and I don't want to get into that, but I don't extract the Africanness outside of that. We were the very first on the earth. So he put everything in for us to do what we do. So that's all. I'm sorry. I probably went a little bit deeper.
I mean, well, we will, we respect our beliefs on this good last week of Ramadan. This might be the last day today.
Absolutely.
But we respect our beliefs. We will,
Absolutely.
everybody has the right to that. I mean, I believe there's layers to that. We won't get deeply into that. Also, I want to acknowledge, much love and energy to those who are unhoused. I have to be careful. I like to be careful about, how we juxtapose. If it had not been for God, then I would be like that, just because it is not that people who are unhoused are without God or God are not on their side. So I want to be mindful of that and just reverence like that the journey we're on is the journey we're on. And sometimes we don't know the reasons behind, all the journeys, but we are thankful for where we have arrived and who we are and the things we have received to be who we are today. Thank you so much for joining us, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I
Absolutely.
appreciate you listening to us. I appreciate you. Just
Please keep
your
supporting.
passion. I just want to say, like the passion that you have behind
It got me
the
up
work that
this
you're
morning.
doing, the passion behind like where you're growing to and evolving to. Like I think it's just beautiful, and any ways that I can support for sure, I'm here for it. Yeah, so I'm excited to see where you grow.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
and
And
we'll
and
see
I
you on
want to say
what
that you're absolutely right.
Saturday, I think.
Saturday.
Okay,
Saturday.
okay.
What's happening
All right.
Saturday? Your pitch, your
That was
pull up and
that was
pitch.
her actual scheduled day was Saturday.
Listen, I
Okay.
was trying to go to the pull up and pitch, but I can't make it because this TSA thing would have me stuck stranded somewhere else that I can't get home.
Well, I think which city is closest to you? Like because
I was thinking the
we're
DC one, and the DC is in
oh, okay,
September.
okay, okay. We'll
Right?
be in Chicago too, but I don't know how close that is. I don't know if that's
My
close.
sister live in DC. It would purely be like, hey,
Uh,
well, I'm coming to sleep on your couch so I can go and pitch to Ami. But she gonna need me.
hopefully in September we won't be having TSA issues.
Okay.
Fingers crossed. Like the DC one is not till September. Yeah.
But you
So
gonna know.
hopefully by
Listen,
then.
you gonna know you need me before then, Ami. You're gonna be like, I need to invest in that girl already. Her and Akima, I need to invest in them. You're gonna know that before all the way before September,
Okay,
So,
I believe that.
all right, y'all have a good one.
All right, have a good rest of your day.
I mess with her. I fool with her the long way. I like that.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I didn't realize that was her story.
Yeah, I didn't know either. I mean, she found us on the 30 Day Show, so I actually didn't know. I thought that she found me through BGV, but this is one. I think this is the power of. I love like one. I do firmly believe the universe brought us together, so I want to say that. I want to say that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a firm believer in like there are no accidents, there are no coincidences. There's reasons why things happen. You might not always know the reason, but for her to like just catch the 30 Day Show just purely off us going live, I think is a testament to the power of the show. But for those out there who create content, also the testament to consistency and going live and deciding to double down and create. I think it can have its benefits. The thing too is like I think sometimes people are looking for like all these thousands and millions of people. So like you go to a live or you go to an Instagram live and it says 1,000 people watching, and then you go, oh my God, this person got 1,000 people watching, and I only got 20 people watching every day. I only got 5 people watching. I only got 10. I only got 20. And it's like,
but if your 5 or 10 are committed, are them 1,000 people building you an app?
right.
Hello.
Right. And this is where like, it came, news came out that like people had like all these followers but no conversions. Like couldn't sell a t-shirt kind of thing. And so I think it's it's worth it to lean into consistency. It's worth it for you to really double down on talking to your audience. And so yeah, I'm so happy to meet her and her business partner, which we'll meet on Saturday. Yeah. What's your week looking like? You gonna be here for the rest of the week?
You mean on the show or in DC?
On the show. Well, shoot, that part I never ask you that because that's not.
Are you on the show?
I don't never ask you whether or not you're gonna be in one place for the rest of the week. I just discover where you are when you like, oh,
when I'm on like, hey, that looks like a different background. What city is this? Where is this?
That's it.
This is I'm really preparing for Ghana. I gotta
when
get
are you
this
going to
yellow
Ghana?
fever. I'm going to Ghana after the show's over. I'm going to the Ghana on April 12th.
Oh, cool.
And I get back the 19th.
What are you doing? Are you doing something? Is it work related?
It is movement. It is brand building related, work related. It is the Africa Real Estate and Investment Festival. I'm a collaborator and going to be a speaker on on one of their
Oh,
panels.
cool. Congratulations. That's
And then also
awesome.
just an opportunity to attend, hopefully be able to translate, help them be able to translate and talk how those who are looking from around the continent are looking to better market and gain interest from the US and gain interest or online on how to market their real estate or how to market their real estate services in Ghana and build that trust and build that consistency and trust online. So plan to do that. And I'm hyper excited about it. Uh, and good morning, Maria. It's gonna be Ghana is gonna be a great experience. I know. I'm going with my guy, Mr. Michael Leach. He was the first ever. I mentioned
Oh,
him
you
yesterday when we
mentioned
were
him.
talking
Yeah,
to
yeah,
Paula.
yeah.
The chief diversity, the first White House chief diversity, equity, inclusion officer. He just put out this book, Faith Over Fear. He and his wife are going, and they were ambassadors. And
Why
we're
don't you
always
invite him to the show so we can talk about faith over fear? You said you've mentioned his book like 2 or 3 times. I'm like, I definitely and like he should be. I should interview him for the Omi show because they buy books. Like the Urban View audience, they buy books. Like, um, so I mean, like if he's into it, but I'm just saying that like yeah, it's a good audience for anybody that's published a book. Not anybody that published a book, Lord, but I might have went too broad there, but if you did, yesterday I interviewed Amanda Spann. She is the author of I Have an App Idea, and it's you can buy it online, and so it airs on Sunday. Her interview will air on Sunday, and we talked about a lot of stuff that Maria was talking about today, like vibe coding, but your back end looks crazy. And so what she did is she wrote this book. She said it because people always, say like, I have an app idea, people. And she's like, this is right. Like if you run accelerators or incubators or things like that, people always got an app idea, and people always want to add an app to something. And
People don't
so she's
realize.
like,
I think apps are not the way. Like you gotta. There's a lot of. I post this. The apps are not always the way because app adaptation is the
yeah,
hardest.
it is.
Think about how many. It's like you spend a lot of time building something that people are just gonna scroll by in their phone.
I mean, so
Potentially, it's just
should
hard
I?
to get It's hard to get people to use a new app. That's
It
all I
is
would say.
very hard. It is very hard to get people to log into something. It's very hard to get people to download something. We were just talking about it yesterday because we're doing a 1-day summit in DC on September the 10th. The Futures We Build Summit. This is soft announcement, I guess. The save the date and everything's coming out through BGV. But we are doing the Futures We Build Summit September the 10th in DC. We bringing it home because this is where I built DC. I built BGV in DC. So we're bringing it home. We're celebrating 10 years of movement building. At the same time, we are going to be, we're going to do a pull up and pitch. We're going to get some money out. We're looking at having a sneaker ball. We're going to have all day, 1-day summit. So we're going to just some good times. But I don't even know what made me say that. But Amanda was talking about Amanda. I interviewed her yesterday. Her on the Omi show on Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Her interview will air, and we were talking about a lot of what Maria was just talking about. And she's also working similarly, actually, maybe at some point. Y'all should meet, but her name is Amanda Spann, Spann, if you want to look her up on LinkedIn. And her book is
I'll
available
do that right now.
online. And she's done a ton of like accelerators and institutional building around like people building. She worked with Techstars. Like she's amazing. So check her out.
SPANN.
Amanda Spann. Amanda Spann. She's great, but her book, I Have an App Idea, is all about teaching people what to think about. So to your point, Cameron, around like things that people don't think about is the adaptation. They think about building the thing. I'm gonna build a thing. But then it's like, yeah, but how you gonna get people to get into the thing, join the thing, use the thing regularly? And so the app that Maria so lovingly built for me, which is I can't wait to really dive into sharing it with folks, is centered around breath work. And I'm excited because Maria is building a true back end. And so that made me be like, because like again, people could vibe code and build something. And it's like, oh, that's cute, thank you so much. But then when she told me that she was really like building the back end, that's why I was like, okay, let's go. Because I'm also an engineer and I also know what it means to have a trashy back end and cannot. And then you're gonna end up spending twice the money. This is the other thing.
Going back.
You're gonna end up spending twice the money because number one, here's another thing that people don't know. If you go from vibe coding to an official development group or group of developers, they're gonna want to rebuild it anyway. Like vibe coding could be great for you to test it out, get real clear on how you want a thing to function, how you want a thing to go, how you want it, get clear so that you can articulate to the developers what you actually want to happen. That does save you much time and money. But if you're thinking that you're going to vibe code it and the vibe coding is going to be the thing, newsflash, that's not going to be it. They're going to build that thing all the way over for you because it's going to be to their benefit so they can understand all the coding that has happened, right? Even going from development shop to development shop, a lot of times the new development shop is going to want to rebuild everything that you have. I have found that to be successful with the shops we work with. By the way, speaking of the developer, so in terms of building custom software, I've done it a couple times. So right now I have a platform called Razorify. Razorify is what we use. It is raisify.co. And it is a custom proprietary software that I built out. I say we built out, but that I built with the development team at BGV, and it handles our voting and donating. So it's a crowdfunding platform with a competition mechanism where when you raise, it has an algorithm in the back end that then determines the score. From that score, you then you become a winner and it ranks you. And then we get more money out. So the first iteration, interestingly enough, talking about the universe, God, all that, using God as an all-encompassing word of the universe and not attached to any religion. Talking about the ways that things are set up. I built Razorify. Let me tell you a little bit of the journey of it since we're talking about engineering today. I had this idea when I was doing poetry because there's a ton of poetry slams that happen all over the place. And then there used to be this organization that was the National Poetry Slam, Inc. And so we would have all these poetry slams all over the country and sometimes beyond. And then we would all come together once a year in different places around the country. And we would do slams. So it would be like a big slam competition in the city, all these poets from all over. And then, but what would happen is to people who weren't in the slam world, they would go oh, poetry slam doesn't mean you're good poet or best poet. And it would be but these people travel all over the country and slam and win. But there was no way to sort of keep up with who was winning. You could have won a poetry slam where you won $50,000 or $10,000, $5,000, $2,000, $100. You could have been winning slams all over the place. And some people were discounting that talent. And so I came up with this idea. We need an app that tracks the slams. Right? We need something that back then, again, I have an app idea. We need an app that tracks poetry slams, but not only just tracks the slams, but tracks the competitors in a way that says in some of these slams, there were better judges than other judges. Because this is why people were discounting.
And it scores the judges too?
No. But the clout of the judge also is a matter of it could be a matter of the validation around your art. Because I'm saying to say this also translates into pitch competitions. There's a bunch of people who go on the pitch circuit and they just pitch, and they just raise money. But if you are pitching in front of I'm gonna just use people. If you're pitching in front of Robert Smith versus pitching in front of Joe Blow, then those are two different levels of business acumen. So needing to track that would be something that could be valuable because then people couldn't devalue you in winning a competition. And even in the business world, people really dismiss pitch competitions in different ways. And I get it because a lot of people have played the system. So there's that. However, whatever, I feel like that realm still needs to exist and we still do that in certain ways. So I said, okay, well, if I have this crowdfunded pitch competition, people raise money and then they people vote with their dollars for who they like,
Mhm.
right? How could I turn this into something that could be more automated where we could automate the money? Because at first we were just using like Eventbrite. So it's like I would put like, oh, if you like this person, like designate their name and your ticket
Mhm.
sale or whatever. So I'm like, how can I do this better? Then I used a donor platform to mock it. Now, here's what's the difference between the way you can build now versus how you had to mock things back then. Like now I could have vibe coded this and just
Looked
kind of
at
figured
it.
out where it could go, right? And but back then you couldn't do that. So I set up the donor platform to have everybody's name be individual campaigns. Then I created a
Mhm.
website that would link to everybody's campaign. So it looked like, okay, I'm voting for my dollars for Cameron, vote for my dollars for Omi, and vote for my dollars for Maria. But you had to go through a checkout process for each person. So I was like, nah, I need my own code. So the first name
Mm.
was She Raise. That was the first version. And the idea of what She Raised that you could go to the platform, watch multiple videos, and then vote all at once. It would do a checkout fashion. So you could pay for every one fee, voted for 5 people if you wanted to. And then that money went to them and you could leave comments. So first MVP, and let's talk about cost because people don't get to talk about this a lot. First MVP for me to do that. First of all, let me back up. I was telling people who knew what I was doing, like, hey, this is gonna work. Like, can y'all like? I need to raise money for this. Like, and I just needed like $5,000, I think it was, to get my like first one off the ground. I
You said
found like
5,000?
$5,000 to get the first one where I needed to be. And this is a group of people down in Atlanta that were willing to do this, and they worked with startups and founders to help them build out MVPs. So, and this is where I also learned about like not so great code. But and not to say they weren't doing great code because they were great folks, but I'm just saying that like I learned like, oh, this is the difference between like, I mean, not knew it from school, but like literally when we started building this out, I learned it over time. So anyway, so then yeah, $5,000. So shout out to Chinedu and
Mm.
Nekwe, also on Cope Connects, also my co-host on the Omi Show. He gave me my first $5,000 to get this app built out. This was 2019. He gave me my first $5,000. He was like, I see what you're doing. I see where you're trying to go with it. Here, take this $5,000 and build it. From that $5,000 till today, to what it's become, we have about 50,000 people on the platform that have come through and donated. We've raised almost $1 million for founders. And I would say like on the platform over the short amount of time, maybe 4 years that we've had it, 5 years fully functioning the way it's functioning, right? So I'm like from that 5,000, like if you believe in people, sometimes it's not about having to give somebody $1 million up front. He believed, he gave me $5,000, I took it and ran with it. Now, end of 2019, we got our first 6-figure believer. This is the kicker. Nobody knew a pandemic was coming. That's why I'm saying like it was just divine. The way that this journey went was divine because we got our first 6-figure believer in 2019. I built the first iteration of the app and I tested it at our Atlanta competition at the end of 2019, about August or September. Come January, things are starting to, we don't know, people getting sick, yada yada, whatever.
Mhm.
I go to CES, I get massively sick, not knowing what it was at the time. And then like boom, by March of 2020, everything was shut down. March, April, everything shut down. But guess what? We had the app. So we had the app built.
And
So
you already had that.
we already had the app built. So all we did was we took the competition virtual. We used a vote with your dollars model. Boom. Behind it, we take a percentage. Founders get a percentage of the money they raise, and we were off and running. And then we scaled exponentially because everything was virtual. So every time I would get access to capital for BGV, I would bake in money to continue building the app. So also I was raising money for BGV, but I would be like, no, this needs to go to building the app out. So that's how we were able to keep building the app. But then I realized She Raised was going to be too narrow. That's too narrow of a name. Like when by the time we got to the HBCU program, we don't just serve women anymore. Now we're serving men. Now we're serving like we're openly serving. So like, what could I do? And the pandemic was a part of that too, because in that scaling of the service, we started openly serving. It wasn't just about like women anymore as much. So then I go to we took on this app development company. We paid them. Now this is an immense amount of capital that we put into it.
How much? Or can you say?
About we paid them about almost $10,000 a month for a year
Into a company to develop it?
to continue development. Now this
See, that's
company was
where
hands-on. This company is very hands-on. You don't always need that hands-on. I liked it because we were real-time building, right? So like I'm observing every code. I'm in it. You know, this won't like build me a thing. Let me see how it works. Build me a thing. Let me see it. This wasn't that. This was everyday meetings, back end code. Let me see what you like. This don't make sense. Move this over here to get to the platform that we have now. That's where we went. And that was that. I forgot the name of it. Ackland Avenue was the name of that company. I can't remember where they're based. The company that we work with now, though, I freaking love them. The name of that company is Jet Rockets.
Is that like a Jet
it's a
Rockets?
development shop.
Rockets.
Yes, Jet Rockets. Their folks are really great.
Ruby on Rails agency?
Yeah, is that the? Let me see.
Simple Rail features Felix's.
Let me look, because then you
JetRockets.com.
Yep, JetRockets.com. So I love them. Because what happened was with Ackland Avenue, no tea, no shade to them. Great. I got a full team of developers. I have everybody, project manager, back end, front end, designer. Yeah, like so with that $10,000 a month, we had a full team of developers. I love that because it gave me an experience of, deep understanding. One, communicating to developers, which we don't talk about a lot. The communicating to developers is a key. You might be like, hey, I want, this is another thing that AI can help you with. You might be like, oh, I want my app to, I don't know, I want kids to find after school programs on my app. What you're saying and what the developer interprets, two totally different things.
And you got to map through that. I think that's like the wireframe. You got to. Now the thing about vibe coding, I think, and at least my interaction with it, I'm not dealing specifically where agentic AI building, but the thing about vibe coding now is that you can get to a place, pull it back down, and tweak it in real time. I think the bridge from, like you said, messy back end to really tight through and through, really tight code. I think once that gap closes for regular people completely, which I think Claude Code and some of these other coding agentic AI services and or platforms are doing, I think that's really where that old school of developers, like they're going to have such a smaller pool of people because for so long, I've heard that story. I got an app idea. I had to find $5, $10, $20, $40, $50,000 to build it out. There's so many people I know that spent 5 and 6 figure budgets on app development that apps are in the wasteland.
We spent great investment, but we did spend quite a bit. I agree with you. I think this is why I like people like Jet Rockets. They're very reasonable and they're very human and they're very much like, this is what can happen. This is what can't happen. Here's how you should think about it. They brainstorm with me.
The Raise the 5 fundraising platform is yours?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's right on there. They talk about it right on their
Raise
on their website.
RAISIFY.co. That's our platform.
They talk about it on their platform.
Oh, do they? I never even looked. When I met them,
Homie Bill, you're quoted.
Am I quoted? Nice.
On their website.
One of my when I met them, when we were working with Ackland Avenue, I could never go hands off the platform. we would have bugs, issues constantly. And when I met Natalie through Chief, we were in the same Chief group, and she was like, but why do you have to keep why is your platform just working by itself by now? And I went, you're right. Why isn't my platform just working by itself right now? Like, because so I was like, oh, you know what I mean? She's like, yeah, you shouldn't have to keep doing this much. Like, this platform is built. You shouldn't have to keep doing this much to it. Like, what is
Who said this?
happening?
Natalie?
The woman who owns the head of Jet Rockets.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh my God, you're right. Because with Ackland Avenue, I could never go hands off. It was constantly something breaking, constantly something disconnecting, constantly something like it all the time. We got to contact them. Can y'all fix this? Can y'all fix that? Something's out of place. Something, I mean, all the time. And she was like, it doesn't make sense. And she's right. By the time we finished with them, we had paid them $120,000. So why couldn't I go hands off? Right? Like, we should be now paying you just a low maintenance fee. You know what I mean? Like, the platform by that time was a year old. Dang, it's crazy to think about that. The platform is 6 years old. Wow. You know what I don't do? I'm gonna do better at. I'm gonna work on that this year. There's things I have done that I have really taken for granted. There's things that I have done I've really like minimized. Being here in
can't do
LA
that.
is
You can't do that.
I don't want to do it anymore.
I heard this. I heard Marlon Wayans gave a really good quote the other day in one of his interviews. He was like, "You can be humble in your real life, but you need to be loud." He's like loud and proud in your professional life. And I think so often that our real life and our professional life are so intertwined. But and in this day of you are the brand, you are the platform, all of that. I quickly have realized, hey, you ever heard, if you don't tell your story, nobody will?
But I
And
want
most
to
people say if I do
something
the
to that
work,
though.
yeah.
So I think
please.
I agree with you. I 100% agree. It wasn't occurring to me that sometimes I think, I don't know if you've experienced this, but sometimes you're so deep in the work that I'm doing what I feel like is necessary for the work, and it's not occurring to me that it needed to be something. And I'm not saying this is good, by the way, but I think it's good that we're talking about it because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. But I'm so deep in the work that it's not even occurring to me to say it's something, right? Until I say it to somebody else, and like, oh shoot, you did that. I remember Renee Montgomery, love her. Shout out to Renee Montgomery. I was on her podcast, and I was just telling her, she was like asking me my story, and I was like talking. She was like, wait a minute, what? You did what? And I was like, oh, so it didn't occur to me. So for me, I don't really talk about building Razorify as much as I should. I don't be like, oh, I have my own software. Like we talk about at BGV when we're doing certain things, but like we have proprietary software that essentially I built with this dev team, right? And so I don't say I'm a fintech platform. I'm a fintech founder, right? Like essentially I am a fintech founder. But I think what happens is like I was doing that because we needed to do that because one, that was a part of our revenue driver for BGV. Two, it was a part of a part of like our function and operations. And then I was like, this is what needs to happen. Same thing. So like with our Nike, the work we do at Nike, one of the things is storytelling. How do we take storytelling to the next level? So when I decided to create those murals in DC, I had a mural on the side of Union Market. The big wall on Union Market, we had a mural there. And it's still a mural right now. That one came down it was up about 3 years. It came down recently. We still have a one in Brooklyn over on the side of the Sherwin-Williams. So like right when you go past where the Bus Boys is, if you go down, if you look to your right, you'll see
what you're
it.
talking about.
So we have a mirror. We still have one up over there. But people are like, wow, like, and I had to go through like on the one we had on Union Market, we had the Tri logo. So we had the Nike, Converse, Jordan brand logo on it. And I had a quote with my name on it. So people were like, oh my God, like you did this, like what made you do this? And I'm like, because why would I work with the biggest storytelling brand on the planet and then go quiet and do programs? But like to me, it just made sense when we did that, we also did a documentary centered around the building of it because you know B Mike. You know
Be my cool.
B Mike is like celebrity. You know, he wouldn't consider himself. He would, if I said celebrity to him, he'd be like, psh. But well known. That's what I say. He's amazing, amazing human overall. Muralist from New Orleans. He did Will Smith's book cover. He's done a ton of murals all across the country and beyond. He's amazing. He's amazing as a human as well. And he did the mural for us that was on Union Market. So also for the Union Market folks and for people in DC, it was a big deal because his name was on it and it was this massive mural of women business owners in the city. So saying all that to say, people ask me, so we did a documentary around it. So we did a documentary around him doing the mural, around the story, around like getting access to capital. Now I did this because I was like, this is an opportunity to tell this story bigger. And we show it to our fellows. And then moving to LA, I'm going to people's documentary screenings and they're like, oh my God, you did this documentary. And then the other day I went, yeah, I did a whole documentary. I didn't think about it this way. You know what I mean? Like the way that they think about it. So I'm saying that to tell that story to say for everybody out there, like some of the things you're doing are like big deal things that you're doing them because it feels like it's the thing to do. You're solving the next problem. You're solving the thing.
That's where the greatness lies. That's where the greatness lies. But I think in this day and age, I think this has always been smart. The winners tell the best stories. You know what I mean? Like history is written by the winners, however you want to parse that statement. And now with so many platforms to tell stories, you got to me, I tell people, I wish more work was getting done and not as much storytelling. But to me, so many things require storytelling. But it also depends on the work and the business you're in. But that documentary feel is, I feel that all the time because I'm just hustling. I mean, you gotta, in one way, it's like I got a plan, I got a target, I'm going after something.
That's
oh my gosh, something fell into my lap and we just grind it out.
Rode with it. That's it.
I rode the wave. Maybe I planned this 6 months out, and I'm always like, that's the reason why if I'm being transparent, money's tight. I hired more people working on more stuff. And I'm like, I almost pulled out of Africa. And then I was like, every night I go to sleep, I was like, when they come back and see this content, not only what I'm going to get from it for me and when I'm doing the work and be helpful on the ground, but I was like, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to show it. I'm going to do something. And I guarantee you, I was like, for 2 years, people were like, you was in Ghana teaching and like, and things that I don't realize.
I want you to show it more because I feel like you template how you show it, but like you're like at so many things. You're like on the ground in so many ways, but I want you to be more free about showing it. You know what I mean? Like I think you show it like because I think you like I get it. You're a digital director and it gotta look away. But I'm like I kind of just want to see like. I want to like see it. I don't know.
I don't know how I feel like everything that teaches you on these platforms is like have a niche and show that. And because I naturally am in more than one thing, like I'm in politics, but I'm not always in politics. And they always don't merge. And it's also, where do I put that? So I've really, that's why I'm like, all right, I need to have digital director. I got Mr. Cameron Calvin. And then I'm actually my old moniker for
Maria
years was
you're a perfectionist. Yeah.
No,
probably.
I'm not.
No,
I'm not
you don't think so?
perfectionist.
I don't know.
I just there's a lot to go out there, but then I also have the Good Time General. That was my first ever like brand. I used to, whenever I go back on Facebook, from anything more than 10, 11 years ago, from like the late 2000s to early 2010s, I used to have people in pictures like this, salute to a good time, like tons of years for pictures. And if you go back, and it was Good Time General, that's what I used to throw parties under. And I was like, well, I have so many pictures that now don't fit my brand aesthetic, like the brand packages I've written out. Like, all right, you're supposed to have because you
But
tell people to go do the pillars and go find your brand and your content and what's your voice and stuff.
but
It's like,
here's what I think you got the opportunity to do though. Just be a digital director. Like it don't matter whether it's politics, real estate, whatever. It's like you are your purview, like is just the digital director. Because when you just said the thing about real estate, I thought to myself, you was talking about Ghana, but I thought to myself, oh my God, that's an avenue for a bag because realtors are always trying to figure out how to push themselves out. I know you have this political realm that you're in, but like realtors spend money on trying to push themselves out into the open because there's so many of them. So they're always trying to figure out like how can I like there's so many creative posts that I see from like different realtors trying to show different ways they show in the house or like show different ways of like getting themselves out there. It's really interesting. Also, now the realtors have to be influencers. So now they're not just selling a house and influence somebody to buy a house, but they got to influence you to follow them and see all the houses that they're showing. And so I like that's a lane. So I wonder if there's room for you to be a just your mama's digital your mama's digital director, your best friend's digital director. Be the digital director of all digital directors. You know what I mean? Like that's what I feel like. It's funny that you say that because Maria earlier was talking about, doing one thing or doing more than one thing. And I didn't say this then, but I agree with her because people always try even now to corner me into one thing. My purpose on the planet is to create spaces of self-actualization and belonging. My purpose on the planet is not just to be the CEO of BGV. My purpose on the planet is not just to be a podcast host. My purpose on the planet is not just to be a Sirius XM host. My purpose on the planet in these where it's like create spaces of self-actualization and belonging is here.
Mm-hmm.
Where that lands in the buckets of where it's gonna land over the course of my life are right here. And I can't do one thing. I can do two. I got minimum 2. Max 7, minimum 2. like
max 7 minimum.
And I tell people you can do everything you want to do. You just got to sometimes do it one at a time. It wasn't until I gave BGV a dedicated 3 months that it took off to where you see it now. But I was trying to do it and run another business and it wasn't exactly lining up. But I say do everything you want to do. Just figure out timing around how you invest in each one. If depending on where you want it to go. Like, could BGV have worked if I didn't give it 3 months? Probably, but not to this massive level that we're at now. So I think that you just have to figure that out. But I think and maybe this is me selfishly, but I love the Digital Director's Playbook. I love it as a title. I love what you're doing with it. I love the content that I'm seeing you start to put out around. I love the Catch on Fire thing. I loved it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yes. Now I want you to we're gonna figure out the 1x speed thing. But I loved it. I loved it because it was very informative. And I think you have so much knowledge that is again to the point of what I'm saying. It's just regular to you. You know, so you don't, it's not a thought to be like, oh yeah, even when Maria's talking, I heard it's certain things you might hear me say that you're like, think about it like this. That's the same thing I just did with Maria when she started talking about the competition or whatever. And I'm like, I hear what you're saying, but don't say it like that. Say it like this. I think doing that is just natural. And so we don't think about pumping it. But we're at the end of the show. And we both have different meetings and stuff we got to get to. So I'm going to hold you up to that.
And you know what happens at the end of the show?
The show go in.
That's why I mess with you the long way. That's why I mess with you the long way. I don't know. First of all, I'm not gonna lie. Confession at the end of the show. There's been about 2 mornings where I'm like, I looked at my phone. I saw your name. And then whenever you hit me first, you know, a couple times you say, hello, good morning. It's like, you know what? Don't give up. Don't give up. You kept your word. And the only time I've missed the show, maybe 3 times, maybe because of flight, sick, very justifiable. And I even then you're gonna push on. And I was like, it's about your word. B, once you do it, you love doing it. And it even if I got $1,000 a show, I still would have felt that way just because I would say the weight of so many things on it. But when I say this is a spirit lifter, I am anxious to replace this time after the show is over with something else just as productive. I can't just go back to either open space or just filling these emails out and stuff like that. So I'm actually trying to be thoughtful in these next few days of
That's
like,
a good. I like that.
when am I gonna replace this time? Am I gonna start this as another show? I don't want to do 30 days straight, but I want to fill every hour of this hour 90 minutes with productive time, because the one thing it'd be 10:30. I'm like, damn, the day kind of
It went
moving
so
by when
fast,
this is
yeah.
over. But I'm gonna replace this time when this is over but I appreciate it. Thank you, Kanisha Harris.
Well, I
Thank you,
appreciate you
Maria.
for
And
committing
thank you,
to my
Omi.
crazy idea because it was one, this is not easy. Going like this level of consistency this early in the morning is early for me. Early in the
Even
it's early.
earlier for you, yeah. But
Yeah.
blocking off that time, because you're a mom, you're a business owner, you're a teacher, you got all these things. It's much earlier, so it's what 6 to 7:30. This I want to say, while I'm not waking up as early, this is literally the start of the workday. So it's like I
Right,
had
right,
to
right,
block
right.
off from 9 to 10:30. Really, I said 9 to 11. I can't have any meetings, and so it kind of means I can't have any morning meetings for a month, which is
Right.
like. But this to me is worth it. Not even just worth it. I don't want to say like it's one thing or another. This is worth it. This is part of the building. And we're going right into season 5 of Hip Politics Podcast. We're going right into Africa. We're going to right at BG Ventures. We're going to Omi Bill Show. This is
Yeah, yeah. And if you need a digital director, where do they need to go?
right here.
Right, but what's the website?
Digital Directors Playbook. Digital Direct
DigitalDirectorsPlaybook.com. Is that
.com.
right?
You can sign up. Boom.
DigitalDirectorsPlaybook.com.
I like. I'm iterating on what you. I picked up what you put down
Okay, thank you.
earlier.
Smelling what I'm selling. Okay, gotcha. The the Digital Directors Playbook .com. Check it out. If you need strategy, you need someone to work on your next political campaign. Political candidates that need to work on their next campaign. At this point, realtors trying to get their life together with their digital campaigns is ready as well for things they're trying to sell. Digital Directors Playbook. You launching your company, you want to get a good playbook off the ground, figuring out what to do, how to do it. DigitalDirectorsPlaybook.com. Make sure you check out Cameron. Yeah, because you actually
Can you
never
send me
know.
that ad copy? Because it sounded like you just had some.
Right, I just did a live read.
It did a live read for me, and I ain't even see it yet. But send me that.
Right.
That sounded good. That sounded good.
Make sure you check it out. Go to omibell.com. You can join my email list. Click the link in my bio on omibell.com you can. But if you're on Instagram, just go to @omibell. Click the link in my bio, join the email list. I'll let y'all know what I got coming up. Also, I've got multiple people saying y'all can't stop, don't stop the show. You can't. It's gonna be 30 days. Like, yes, the 30-day show. The 30-day show in itself in this format will have to end on March 30th because it's the 30-day show. However, we are open to all conversations about brand deals and sponsorship to come back and have the show take different lives. Maybe a theme show, maybe across a political campaign, maybe across the Olympics, maybe across the finals of some sports season. Like, we are down to come back and do the 30-day show in multiple ways. And we will. I think my goal is to do it at the end of every quarter. So if this will end the first quarter, April, May, June will be the summer. That's gonna be super. That might be super hard to do. But I'll talk to Cam. We can see if we'll bring it back in June. But for sure, I'm gonna replace this slot with another show. I'm gonna bring Body, Business, and Belonging. So I'll be introducing you to a ecosystem of business owners and practitioners of all types, everything from psychedelics to to like different kinds of meditation. This is one woman I want to bring on. She has this project called the Confetti Project. It's so cool. So I'll still be here, and maybe Cam will come back and join me some mornings in April. We'll see. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. We ain't done yet. We still got 13 days left. We still got 12 days left, actually. We got 12. Sheesh. We got 12 days left in the 30-day show. We'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm also noticing that like come Wednesday, more people start tuning in. That's interesting. All right. At the end of the show gonna end. And so we appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow morning. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Peace.
We didn't even